It's HPR, All Things Considered, and I'm Dave Lawrence. Tonight at the Blue Note, reggae artist Pato Banton kicking off a tour of the Aloha State. He's playing Tahiti Nui on Kauai Friday and Saturday, Honoka'a People's Theater on Sunday. And from working with the English Beat, UB40, Paul Schaefer, even Sting, he's got stories to share, and he's joining us now. Hi, Pato. Thanks for doing this, man.
Hi, Dave. My pleasure.
Our pleasure, too, man. And explain who you're bringing with you for these shows.
I'm bringing with me my band, the Our Generation Band. I've got Damien on drums, Gavin on bass. What's my guitarist name? David Gomez on guitar. And Antoinette Root's daughter on keyboard.
You've had a long career, a lot of different stuff, worked with a lot of cool people. We're going to hear about some of those. But some people who are fans of yours may not even realize that you grew up in Birmingham, England, developing a passion for music and in particular reggae.
Well, basically, my stepdad was a DJ from Jamaica. I got involved with his late night parties at the age of 8. I was a security lookout. They used to play blue beat, ska, before reggae music was even created. And as the music evolved, I was right there with it. And I started going on the microphone, just saying a few words here and there on the mic. And then the MC started to evolve. And then the next thing I knew, I heard that there was actually a new wave of MCs in London called the British MCs. So I went down to London and met them. Papa Levi, Tipper Irie, Daddy Colonel, Smiley Culture, Maxi Priest, met that whole crew and ended up getting signed to Fashion Records, then Mad Professor, and then Island Records. Next thing I know, I was touring the world as an MC in my own right.
It's just such a wild story. And some of the guests that we've previously had on the show, you connect with through your career. And some of your earliest recordings go back to working with English Beat, we call it.
Beat.
Yep.
That's an interesting story because actually where I live, a town called Moseley in Birmingham, England, which is actually the same hometown of Steel Pulse and UB40, there was a talent contest on the corner of my street at the theatre. The English Beat was performing there. They had a talent contest before the concert. I was the last person to sign in. They said I just about made it to sign my name. And I was the last one to go up for the contest. I was chatting my lyrics to the record, and then I started doing this dance. And when I did the dance, I kicked my leg up, and I kicked the microphone cable and broke the mic cable halfway through my song. So I just saw the mic cable drop on the floor, and I had the mic in my hand. And I realized that, okay, this is the end of my show, so I just danced my way off the stage, and everybody was like, we want more, we want more. And so I won the contest, and then Rankin Roger, after his concert, came to me and said, you know something, I really like your style, and I'd love to bring you into my recording studio. I went to his recording studio a week later, and we became big friends. You know, he liked my underground ghetto style, and I loved his professionalism. He taught me a lot about the music industry. And so we became really close brothers. And the next thing I know, I was on the English Beats album, Special Beat Service. Dave Wakeling was the lead singer, and he sang on the chorus line, too.
He's been on the show with us a few times and popular here in Hawaii. And you mentioned them, another band that is actually very popular here in the islands that you've had an affiliation with through the years, UB40.
Yeah. They did an album called Bag of Rhythm.
Right.
They called me and asked me if I would round up all the local MCs, top local MCs, and bring them into the studio to voice them on their dub tracks. We all performed on the album, and I did a track on that called Hip Hop Lyrical Robot, where I was actually doing a rap. And they put that on the B-side of the Chrissy Hines hit, I Got You Babe, which also went gold in America, which exposed me to a lot of people. And then later on, we got together again and did a cover of Eddie Grant's
Baby Come Back.
Baby Come Back, which sold 30 million copies and was in the British #1 spot for 4 weeks in a row.
Right, 1994.
Yeah.
Some of those kind of collaborations, I'm sure people would maybe think are not surprising. But then there are other cats who it may surprise people to hear about, like certainly Late Show band leader Paul Schaefer. Explain that connection.
Well, actually, that's an interesting project. What they did was they released a single called Absolute Perfection, which was a big hit in LA on KROQ radio. And Roberto Angati was one of the top DJs at the time, and he was also UB40's. He used to do a lot of writings on their albums and stuff. So he called me into the radio station when I was on tour in California and says, check out this song. You want to throw some lyrics on it and see what happens? So I just went in the voicing booth in the radio station and just had some fun. And the next thing I know, the song was a hit on the radio, you know? And I was like, wow. And the same thing happened on a track called This Cowboy Song with Sting.
Right.
He had already finished that track. He had already finished the video as well. He sent it to the same guy who had mixed Baby Come Back with me in UB40. He sent it to that producer in LA. And he called me and said, guess what, Pato, I've got a Sting track. You want to put some lyrics on it? I'm like, send it to me. I put some lyrics on it, and he sent it to Sting, and Sting was like, oh my God, we've got to redo the video. So they sent me to London to meet the video producers, and they actually reshot the video with me in it, and it was a big hit in Brazil and in the UK.
Is that when you first met Sting?
That was the first time, and so when I did that song with Sting, me and him ended up meeting. We did some shows together. He flew me and my band on a private jet to actually back him at a show he did in Spain with Madonna. And then we went in the studio later on again and did another song, a remix of Spirits in the Material World, which was a soundtrack for the Ace Ventura Animal Pet Detective movie.
Yeah.
We became really good friends, you know. He's such a cool brother.
What's a cool, enduring story of something fun when you remember it brings a smile, or that you learned something from being around a master like Sting? What comes to mind?
The funniest story for me is when we were flying on his jet to Spain on his private aeroplane, and Sting is an avid chess player. He loves the game. He travels with his own magnetic board. So if he gets interrupted, the pieces don't move, you know. He can pack it away and everything stays in place.
Right.
So we're on his private plane, and he pulls out the board and says, you want a game, Pato? Now, I'm not really that much of a chess player. I know how to play, but I'm not that devoted to the game. But I was like, yeah, let's play. And this is the first day that I was actually traveling with him on his plane. And the whole time he was looking at the board, planning his next move, I was just looking at him going, oh my God, I'm playing chess with Sting. He beat me so quickly. It was really cool. He got everybody in my band high on that plane. The plane was full of smoke.
Pato Banton joining us today on All Things Considered, and really grateful during this run through the islands that you took time to be our very special guest here on HPR and the show. We really appreciate it, brother. I hope you had fun talking.
Yes, Dave. Thank you so much. Blessings and love. My name is Pato Banton, and you are in tune to All Things Considered with Dave Lawrence.
Now hear this. Pato Banton and Sting a touchdown again, Chris. For every man, woman, boy and girl, 'cause we are spirits in a material world.